I was actually crying last night because my feet, my toes were so cold. I couldn't handle it. I got so cold. I didn't know what to do.
We have brothers and sisters and family members that are on the streets right now who really bleed just like you and me, and how can we help serve them?
I wake up every morning with frozen shoes. It feels like I'm putting on wooden clogs.
We used to have 30 people back here, and just a place to go, a place to call home until you get out of here.
One time, both of us were gone. We had our blankets taken. We came back, and we had to start all over. Just because we're homeless, don't mean we're bad people. We just had a bad situation.
Welcome, Homeless Life Stories.
Minus 15 degrees Celsius. That's not just a number on tonight's weather forecast. It's the thin line between life and death for 779 people trapped in Iowa's harshest winter in history in 2025. The first snowstorms of December have arrived, blanketing once peaceful cornfields, and the numbers continue to rise. Among them are people who used to brush snow off their car windows to go to work early in the morning, only to return home at night without a warm room to shelter them. This story isn't as noisy as in New York or Los Angeles. Here, poverty and homelessness are paralyzed by the cold, frozen in silence. But when we look deep into the icy mist of this 2025 winter, we see more than just cold numbers. We see faces, anxious eyes, and lives trembling, waiting for a miracle amidst the blizzard. Welcome to Iowa, where the biting cold is nothing compared to the fear of being forgotten.
Unofficially, they call me
Iowa, the hidden side behind peace. In Des Moines and Iowa City, the signs are subtle but unmistakable. Old cars turned into makeshift shelters, bags stacked under awnings, or figures curled up in parks. Unlike the sprawling tent cities of Los Angeles, homelessness here is quieter, more scattered, and easier to overlook. And that silence makes it even more heartbreaking. These people exist, yet remain almost invisible to their communities. The homeless in Iowa are not strangers. They are former factory workers, parents, and once even homeowners. However, a single event such as job loss, medical bills, or rising rent can unravel everything. And once they fall, the road back becomes painfully steep. The sobering truth is this: even in one of the most stable states in America, countless lives are being left behind. Iowa, with its peaceful surface, hides a harsher reality where thousands live in uncertainty and neglect. That's why Homeless Life Stories is here, to shine light on these overlooked stories. If you believe no one deserves to live in the shadows of invisibility, hit like, comment, and subscribe to spread understanding and compassion. When numbers speak. Polk County, home to Des Moines, recently released a number that startled many: 768 homeless individuals this summer, up from 729 the previous year. Behind that increase aren't just statistics, but real lives losing stability in the heart of America. The most troubling fact: many of these people still have jobs but can't afford rent. Affordable housing is scarce while living costs climb higher each year. A full-time grocery worker still ends up sleeping in their car because their paycheck doesn't cover even the cheapest apartment. The mismatch between wages and expenses has created a vicious cycle that pushes families over the edge in just a few months. Local officials have promised about 500 new affordable housing units in the coming years. But is that enough when the waiting list for housing already stretches months, even years? While plans remain on paper, more cars turn into mobile homes each day, and more children fall asleep on sidewalks each night. Sometimes the coldness of numbers becomes the loudest alarm. Because when we see that behind those 768 individuals are 768 stories, 768 sighs, we finally understand the urgency. That's why Homeless Life Stories continues to be here in Iowa, so no one becomes just a shadow in the data. Numbers fade, but their faces, memories, and dreams deserve to be remembered. Mothers keeping the flame in the storm. In Des Moines, the state capital, behind brightly lit office buildings and lively evening streets, lies another world. There, a young mother sits in her old car, wrapping 3 children in a thin blanket. For months, that car has been their only shelter after rent costs soared beyond her reach.
Hey, y'all good?
She recalls the apartment they once had, where children's laughter filled evenings after simple family meals. But when the landlord raised rent by $250 a month, her small wages from a diner job were no longer enough. Suddenly, the car became their only home. This isn't just her story, it mirrors hundreds of single mothers in Iowa struggling to raise children without a roof. They are protectors and fighters at the same time, staying awake through the night to shield their children, making sure the little ones still feel safe enough to go to school every morning. The heartbreaking part. Alert. These mothers still carry remarkable strength. Some walk miles each day for cleaning jobs just to save a few extra dollars. Others hide their tears, smiling when their children ask, "Mom, when will we have a home again?" Their resilience is like a fragile flame, small, flickering, but never extinguished. Each mother's sacrifice reminds us that homelessness is not just about policies, it's about humanity. How can we ignore the sight of a child sleeping in a car seat while their mother silently prays for a better tomorrow? Every small act of kindness, a meal, a listening ear, a helping hand, adds another flame to their struggle. And when enough flames join together, perhaps the path home will no longer be so dark. Wandering steps through the streets. In downtown Des Moines, the lights of coffee shops and stores glow brightly at night. Yet just a few streets away, another reality unfolds, weary footsteps dragging through empty sidewalks, carrying exhaustion instead of joy. One woman in her 30s leans against a brick wall, her eyes distant as cars rush past. A year ago, she had a job at a grocery store in a small apartment. But after losing her job and falling into debt, her home slipped away. Now she lives as a quiet shadow of the city, still holding on to a fragile hope. "I just want a small place again, somewhere safe when the rain falls or the cold winds return." Not far from her, an older man pushes a rusty cart piled high with scraps of clothing, blankets, and a water jug. "This cart is my home now," he says. Every day he wanders the streets, searching for a temporary spot to rest. And though he has little, he still shares food or a blanket with others on the street. His generosity, even in poverty, is a quiet act of dignity. These stories are not rare, they are the unseen majority. Each figure in the shadows, each cart full of belongings, represents a life that society too often looks away from. And the question lingers, can we truly live in comfort knowing that, right beside us, people survive only on fragile hope that one day they might call a place home again? When policy falls short. Iowa is often celebrated for hospitality, summer cookouts, and close-knit churches glowing with Sunday warmth. But even here, a painful truth exists. Policies meant to address homelessness often skim the surface, failing to touch the lives that need change most. Polk County, Iowa's most populous area, shows the reality. This summer's 768 homeless individuals, up from 729 the year before, is proof that despite government programs, stable housing remains out of reach for too many. Rising rent far outpaces wages, leaving even full-time workers unable to secure housing. Officials promise 500 new affordable homes, but when thousands are in need, those units are just a drop in the desert. Another barrier is bureaucracy. Programs exist, but waiting lists stretch for months, even years. For someone living in a car or tent during freezing winters, every day is survival. They cannot wait. Shelters provide beds for a night. But what people truly need is stability, a real home to begin again. In some places, sleeping outdoors is criminalized. Tickets and fines punish people simply for not having a house, deepening mistrust of the system. One homeless woman put it plainly, "I don't need pity. I just need a chance." But if a chance only comes with punishments, who can I trust anymore? Of course, there are bright spots. Churches, nonprofits, and volunteer groups continue to fill the gaps, providing meals, blankets, and most importantly, respect. But goodwill alone isn't enough. Iowa needs more than plans on paper. It needs commitment, faster construction of affordable housing, expanded mental health services, and simpler processes so people aren't trapped in endless paperwork. Because as long as policy is focused only on managing homelessness rather than ending it, the crisis will never truly fade. The shift must be from punishment to opportunity, from survival to stability. The psychological spiral and the shadow of addiction. When people think of homelessness in Iowa, the first images that come to mind are tents or worn-out shopping carts. But behind that physical picture lies another shadow, a mental health struggles and addiction. In Des Moines and Iowa City, it's not hard to spot vacant expressions and weary eyes, people fighting not just the freezing cold, but also addiction and constant anxiety. Recent statistics reveal that nearly 40% of Iowa's homeless population faces serious mental health issues, from depression and anxiety to PTSD. Losing a home often means losing emotional stability, widening existing cracks in the mind. Many first turn to substances simply to numb the cold, the loneliness, or physical pain. Over time, that escape becomes a trap, a spiral with no way out. One man told a volunteer, "I didn't plan to get addicted. I just needed something to help me forget the winter nights. But then it took everything, my job, my family, my home." His words reflect a painful truth. For many, addiction isn't the root cause of homelessness, but the inevitable consequence of despair. Even worse, Iowa's mental health and addiction services are already under-resourced and now overwhelmed. Treatment centers close their waiting lists, outreach programs lack staff, and by the time help arrives, many have fallen deeper into the darkness. And yet, in the middle of that spiral, there are small lights. Nonprofits have launched community outreach programs, bringing medication, counseling, or even just conversations that remind people they're not forgotten. These efforts may not change the entire system, but they plant seeds of hope, proof that someone still wants to listen, that a hand is still reaching out. To truly address homelessness in Iowa, we cannot ignore this invisible side. A roof is only the beginning. Healing the mind is the longer road that allows people to stand firm again. A mother's journey to keep a home in her heart. On the small streets of Des Moines amid its morning traffic, there are corners few notice. There, a young mother lies with her 2 children in an old car parked near a church. Each morning she wakes them with a smile, takes them to school, and quietly heads to a public restroom before starting her shift at a convenience store. She recalls that her family once rented a small apartment filled with children's laughter. But when rent skyrocketed and her husband lost his job, the decline was swift. Now, her minimum wage paycheck only covers food and gas. The dream of a real home has slipped away. What moves people most is not just her hardship, but how fiercely she protects her children. Despite exhaustion, she insists on simple family meals and tells bedtime stories each night. For her, home is more than four walls. It's love, resilience, and refusing to let go. Stories like hers remind us that behind cold statistics are beating hearts and burning dreams. And viewers of this video can play a small role in ensuring those sacrifices are not in vain. If you believe no child should grow up under the open sky, hit like, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to Homeless Life Stories. Each action is not just support, it's a message that they are not alone. When communities light the way. Amid Iowa's dark reality, there are bright sparks of hope from within the community itself. In Polk County, where the homeless count rose to 768 people this summer, small organizations and volunteers are working daily to fill gaps the system cannot. One example is the Homeward program, which connects people experiencing homelessness with emergency housing and long-term counseling. Their mission is not only temporary shelter, but lasting stability through jobs, healthcare, and emotional support. The plan to build 500 affordable housing units in the coming years offers a ray of hope, even if the road ahead is long. But it's not just organizations, ordinary residents are stepping in. Volunteer groups deliver sandwiches and water to parks. Churches open fellowship halls as warming centers. Local shops allow people without homes to charge their phones. Each small gesture keeps the flame of humanity alive. When asked about his motivation, one volunteer said simply, "I can't change the whole world, but I can make someone's day a little easier." That kind of everyday compassion is the thread that binds communities together. Iowa shows us that homelessness is not just a policy issue, it's a test of our humanity. When enough hands reach out, homes are built not just with bricks and mortar, but with empathy and solidarity. If you believe every small action makes a difference, hit like, leave a comment, and subscribe to Homeless Life Stories. By doing so, you are helping extend the light of hope on someone's path home. This outro is not a closing, it's an open question. Will we keep walking by, or will we stop, listen, and reach out? No one can solve this crisis alone, but every act of kindness, a meal, a kind word, an open door can change an entire life. In Iowa, as anywhere in America, the homeless need more than temporary shelter. They need recognition that they are part of the community. They need opportunities to rebuild, and a society compassionate enough to remind them that after darkness, there is still light. If today's story touched you, leave a comment, hit like, and subscribe to Homeless Life Stories. Every interaction is not just support for the channel. It is proof that we see them, we hear them, and we will not abandon them. Because in the end, no home is warmer than a heart that chooses to share.